Shalom Akim and welcome to GMS Words Drop Like Honey. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Rakakwadash, whom I worship. Double honor to my elder apostles, Great Millstone, who taught me this word in sincerity and in truth, who rule well and are still on the highways and byways, pushing this word to the very end, so that they may receive their crowns of salvation. A salutation to all the Akim who are doing the same out there. And may the Lord bless the families of Yasharala out there who are believing. May the Lord strengthen you against the mark of the beast and grant you salvation at the end. So saw this on RT, and is dealing with a mutated SARS virus that is spreading in China, and there are fears that this may end up being a pandemic. Okay. This could very well come over here to the Americas, because as you know, you have people who travel from China and from China into America and from America back to China. So this disease or this virus can be spread by people who are traveling. Okay. So these are the days that we're living in, the last days, and these are things that we are to keep an open eye on, because one of the things the Lord said, how the disciples would know that we were in the last days, was when you hear of things like this, pestilences, okay, which is viruses and diseases spread to the masses, okay. So I'm gonna read this article as always, and Lord willing, I'm gonna get that scripture. It says, China's new killer virus is mutated SARS, and may be one more mutation away from infecting millions. Will it make the lethal leap? The deadly Chinese virus is turning up in more and more places, and the number of cases tripled over the weekend. But how bad could things get? And is there anything that could stop it before it's too late? It seems a bit like the beginning of a Hollywood thriller. An ordinary winter's day at Wuhan's seafood and wildlife market. Market traders stalls packed. Market traders stalls packed with meat and fish, trying to flog their wares. The shoppers handling the produce and trying to find the best deals. But Wuhan is hundreds of miles from the ocean, meaning any fresh fish and shellfish for sale was probably anything but. We know that something at the market, perhaps a batch of dodgy crabs or some squawking chickens packed together in cages, was carrying a deadly microscopic threat. Little could punters know that hundreds, if not thousands of them, were being infected. What is it? The virus 2019-NCoV targets the respiratory system and causes coughing, fever, and breathing difficulties. Fluid can be drained from the lungs, the airways cleared and expanded, and oxygen delivered by mask. But these are all just ways of alleviating the symptoms. Antibiotics are useless against viruses. When you get one, the doctor tells you to get plenty of rest and gives you a lollipop. Against a virus, your body's immune system is your only line of defense. The only real external protection against viruses are vaccines, but these can take a long time to develop and are not always effective. Moreover, if and when the virus mutates, vaccination becomes useless. This happens almost, but these can take a long time to develop and are not always effective. Moreover, if and when the virus mutates, vaccination becomes useless. This happens almost every winter with influenza, when the doctors play a guessing game about which strains of flu will spread that year. right? Because just many strains, so they don't know what specific vaccination is gonna take care of the particular strain that's out there. It says an old enemy comes back, different. Some have speculated that the 2019-NCOV is in fact severe acute respiratory syndrome (SARS), which killed almost 800 people across Asia in 2002. DNA analysis of 2019 that dash NCOV revealed that it is very similar to SARS, essentially a modified form. But Chinese officials are anxious to distance this new bug from SARS. Perhaps they are worried that the name would panic the public. So far, their keep calm and carry on message seems to have been holding. Commuters in Beijing were not overly concerned about 2019-NCOV despite 5 confirmed cases there. How far has it spread? Wuhan, where the virus originated, is right in the center of China. By the time the first reports started coming in, it had probably already spread to other Chinese cities. And now there are confirmed cases in Japan, Thailand, and South Korea, all of whom are people who had traveled from Wuhan. Thousands of people fly from Wuhan to other countries every day. And throughout the epidemic, flights from Wuhan have been landing in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and New York City. Passengers on those flights, as well as those to Singapore, Tokyo, and Hong Kong, are now being screened for 2019-NCOV. But who's to say how long the virus and symptoms can remain dormant before they are easily? Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, because I didn't want to make this a long, drawn out thing, what I want to do is bring a few scriptures out. I'm going to leave the link to this article in the description box. That way you can read it for yourselves, okay? So let me go ahead and pull some scriptures. This is the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. I'm going to start the first verse in the KJV, okay? And it reads, "And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple." Now, if you're new to my channel, or new to this truth that we preach, that word there is not the name of the Lord. That word Jesus, that's not the name of the Lord. His name is Yahushua in the Hebrew. He was a Hebrew Israelite of the tribe of Judah. All right, a real Jew, so that you can understand, which would be considered today as a black man. Okay, so that you can understand. It says, "And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone left upon another that shall not be thrown down." And he was alluding to the Romans coming in, 70 A.D., Titus and Vespasian, to come to lay siege to Jerusalem and destroy it. And then ultimately also he was talking about the nuclear destruction that's going to happen in the future, which in these last days that we're living in now. All right, it's gonna totally burn the land of Israel up, and America also will be burned with fire. Okay, that's in prophecy. Verse 2, "And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down." And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? That's what the disciples wanted to know, man. The disciples, they gave up their lives for this, to follow Yahushua, man. And they wanted to know, man, when is this thing when is the end gonna be? They thought it was gonna happen right there and then when the Lord was with them. But little did they know, man, they had to wait. They had to wait until they come back in the future, man. 2,000 years into the future, man. You know, and then that's when the Lord is gonna, do His thing, Lord willing. It'll be soon, okay, so that the kingdom of heaven may begin. And it said, and it reads, and Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, right? And war's been happening for hundreds of years, right? But this means an escalation of this, an escalation of wars and rumors of wars, okay? Now you're hearing about, what's happened, the situation that's happening with Iran and with Trump, and you got a lot of key nations in Syria still. Russia negotiating deals with the other nations, with China, and so just like things happening, little skirmishes happening here and there, right? So those are what wars and rumors of wars, and it's gonna escalate to the great and final war, which is Armageddon, the war of Armageddon, where all the nations' troops are gonna gather in one place over there in the Middle East. So it's a hotbed right now. It always has been, but it's getting even hotter. See that ye be not troubled. Yeah, you're not supposed to, don't get troubled. Don't be afraid. You got to know that this is the prophecies that have to come to pass in order for us to get into the kingdom. It says, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, right? Famines, okay? Lack of food, all right? That's coming. That's coming to the streets of America. And pestilences, okay? So if you don't know what a pestilence is, look it up. It's deadly diseases, okay? Viruses, all right? Like the one that they just mentioned in that article. And earthquakes, and you've been hearing about earthquakes happening in different places and different islands, and you've been hearing about volcanoes erupting. So it's like the signs are out, you just have to be awake to see them, to pay attention and see it. And it says, and earthquakes in diverse places, right, in different places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. All right, so these are the days of sorrows for the people who are not of the elect of the Lord, okay, who are part of the 2/3. And this is the beginning of sorrows for the other nations, okay. They trusted in their fake gods, and they made millions selling their goods, here to America and throughout the world and all that. They lived comfortably, for all these years, and then now the end is about to come for them. The end for them, the beginning for the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay. Give me a second. All right, this is Psalms 91, verse 1. And it reads, He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my power. In Him will I trust. And that's talking about Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, man. I mean, you can't not only just read this. You gotta really trust in His name. Because when all this stuff start hitting home and becomes real, man, right before your face, this is when your faith is going to be really tested. Okay. It says, surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. Right, the noisome pestilence are the missiles. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. And that's talking about His chariots, because that's how He's coming to deliver us in. All right. And his flying vehicles, okay, the so-called UFOs, okay. It says, His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Right, when all these things are happening in the streets of America, man, the brothers who have who have believed in this word here and trusted in it and have done the work, man, and stood strong, that's not going to affect them. Okay. This word here is going to be the stability of our times, right? It says, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. The arrow is talking about the nuclear missiles. Nor for the pestilence, right? See, that walketh in darkness. Now, they have mentioned the word microscopic. And speaking about that virus, you can't see it with your eyes. You will have to see it with using special microscopes and things like that. So it's like it's walking. How would you say? It's like it's invisible. Okay, to the naked eye. That says, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. Right, noonday is when the Lord is coming. Okay, and Esau's whole system and society, as you know it, will be destroyed. Okay, the pestilence that walketh in darkness is talking about viruses like the one that I just read about, um, that they believe to be a mutated form of SARS. You know, uh, these are the things that are good because this could very well spread and kill millions, man, right here in America. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things to look out for, man, and to be um focusing on things like this, because this is also, prophecy that these things will happen before the end come. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna end it there. Like I said, I'm gonna leave the link of this article in the description box below. So all you gotta do is just hit it and check it out and read it for yourself. All right. So once again, like I always say, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Shalom.